everyone, it's Justine, and today I'm designing for the Happy Little Stampers channel, and I'm super excited to be with you today. I'm going to be showing you how to do clean and simple paper piercing, and so I'm going to be making 3 clean and simple cards using a paper piercing technique, as well as some really vibrant colors on a very white background. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to be inking up a background sheet. So this is just a plain white sheet of cardstock. It's 110 pound Neenah Solar White. And I'm going to be using my Distress inks today to just color the background. And I'm going to use various shades of pink, red, and purple. Now during this process I am going to speed you up because this background took me about 6 full minutes, and I think that would get a little bit boring showing you 6 full minutes of this. But I started off with picked raspberry, moved into some abandoned coral, or some wilted violet. Then I moved into some abandoned coral and candied apple, and I also used some more in lipstick. So I was just grabbing a whole bunch of various shades of pink and purple and just adding those to my cardstock. And some of them blended in that they almost looked like exactly the same color, and that was this one here, so the Worn Lipstick and the Abandoned Coral were very close in color, and so I wanted a little bit more contrast. So in the end it ended up going in with some candied apple to try and darken it up. However, my ink seemed to be quite empty, so I decided to just go on and add some picked raspberry again to the card, and that ended up adding a little bit more pink into the card when I had gone back into it. So I attempted a little bit more with the candied apple, just wiped off my mat here just to get it clean, and then once again went in with some picked raspberry in order to get some more of that pink color in there and to make it just a little bit more contrast in the background colors. So once that was all finished, I had this really pretty background in various shades going from dark to light and different colors and things like that. And I grabbed an acrylic block, and I was going to be using this Whimsical Friends stamp from Happy Little Stampers. And I'm going to be using the various birds, the sun, as well as the sentiments on this one. And I'm going to just add some of the birds to this background here. Now, if I were to fussy cut all of those little swirly details, that would be quite a job, and it would be quite impossible to do without getting some color on the outside. So what I'm going to do is just show you a quick and easy paper piercing technique. So first of all though, before getting started on that technique, I'm going to be just stamping some of these birds in various areas on the cardstock so that they're very different in color. So I'm just going to be choosing various birds based on the way that they're facing and things like that. And remember, making 3 cards in total. So the original plan was only to make 1, but I decided to just continue on because I had so many extra pieces left over. So you could add these all onto 1 card, or you could make 3 like myself. So as you can see, when I am cutting the paper, I am not cutting out the legs, I'm not cutting out the beak, I'm not cutting out the little hairs on the top or the little feet. I'm just cutting out the solid parts, so I'm just cutting out the body. And the reason behind that is I'm going to stamp these again on my card in black ink, and then I'm going to just add the pieces of color to it so that I do get those fine details, little feet, but without having to cut them out. It's so much easier, and that's what I mean by paper piercing. Paper piercing can be very simple, like the card I'm doing here, or it can be very intricate, like some of the paper piercing projects I've done over on my blog and my video channel. Alright, so I've got some card bases ready here and ready to go, so I'm going to be stamping the sentiments as well as the birds onto the cards. So I'm doing thanks first, and then I'm going to be stamping one of the birds onto my card. So I had to think about which way they were facing and which way I wanted them to face. So I want to face them towards a sentiment. And then I'm simply going to grab the colored part of the bird that I added before. I'm going to add all the paper piercing at the end. So right now I'm just doing my quick and easy stamping. And again, you can stamp this many times. You can make the same card over and over again and make bulk cards, or you can switch them up like I'm doing. It's completely up to you. Or you can make 1 card with 1 sentiment and have multiple birds on it. The possibilities really are endless as to what you could do with this card. Now for the Miss You, I ended up cutting the stamp in half so that I could stamp them one after the other, and I did something a little bit different with the sentiment here. So I masked off an area, and I am stamping the Y and the U, and I'm stamping the O. Instead of stamping the O, I'm stamping the sun. So I just thought it would be something a little bit different and kind of cute to do on the cards. So I'm just taking some masking paper, inking it up, and then removing the masking paper, and then stamping the sun in the middle, and then doing the same thing with the U. It kind of looks a little bit squished together, so if I were doing this again, I would probably spread it out a little bit more, but I do like the way that it turned out regardless. Alright, so I'm just going to add the bird here on the side, and then I've got my final card finished. I just need to do all of the paper piercing. So I'm just going to grab those fun little colored pieces of paper and just add them with some tweezers to my card. This gives a wonderful pop of color onto a very, very white background. These are definitely extremely clean and simple cards, all one layer, and then generally, or one layer if you don't count this layer that I'm adding here, and then just very, very small pop of color on the white. So that's the end of today's card tutorial. I hope you enjoyed these really quick, easy, and simple cards, and you can try the paper piercing technique with more complicated and intricate stamps if you like. So there's a final look at the card as well as the distress colors of ink that I used on this card. Here you're welcome to subscribe to the channel, or you can head on over to the shopping site and check out the Whimsical Friends stamp set. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.